Step into Erin and Shannon's family home steeped in history, where old charm meets coastal living. But first, we'll visit Dino and Kathy. Every room in their seaside haven offers stunning views of the ocean that reflect the tranquility of the shoreline. Water, deep, flowing, mysterious, ever-changing yet constant, the inspiration of artists and adventurers. It's the foundation of life. We are drawn to it, to watch it, listen to it, immerse ourselves, and for those who choose, to live beside it.
My name is Kathy Delgaudio. I'm originally from New York. I'm retired now. I used to be a realtor.
My name is Dino Delgaudio from Queens, New York. I'm retired as well.
When we first came, Dino said to me, "Would you like the pastoral views?" I really loved that. I thought it was so beautiful with the hills and the different shades of green. Then we walked into this house and it was wild with the water, and I said, forget what I said before. I really like this. As soon as we walked in, I felt calm. I felt this is our place. I liked the fact that it had bedrooms and living area downstairs. So when the families came, they have their own space, and then we'd have our space up here.
The buy went amazingly smoothly. The owners were so kind. They knew we were going to be spending some time here after the closing, and they actually brought some table and chairs and just something so we could have time at the house before we had to go back. To this day, I mean, we still stay in touch. We love them. They're just beautiful people.
We moved to Long Island when we got married. We used to love to go to the beach. I used to love to walk the boardwalk. So water was always really important to me. You walk in the front door, first thing you see is the waterfront view, which just kind of blows everybody away. If you were to go right, you'd go into a dining room that has the hillside view of this community. There's a staircase, you can go downstairs. There's like a suite, a living room area, and bedrooms. Great place for another family if they came with their children to have their own private time. To the right of the dining room, a master bedroom, and that also has a full bath. In the open area, which is the living room, kitchen. To the left of the living room is a sunroom with sliders that go out to the decks.
This would be probably the primary room for me. In the morning, lazily on the couch here, right, and with a cup of coffee. And then the piano's here. I play piano. Oftentimes, that will be a place where I'll wander.
The heart of the home is right here in the living room, kitchen area. We do like to entertain a lot, so the house flows nicely when we have a party or entertain house guests. I love the view, and if I'm cooking, I can also speak to the people who are visiting with us, and it's just a gorgeous room. I love being here. It's very bright. It's always been very comfortable. We just got here in the beginning of July. I said to Dino, every time we walk through those doors, I'm in love again.
When we first got here, we had no furniture. We were living in that sunroom over there. That was really enough for us. I mean, you almost could have told us it's all you're going to get. And then as time went on and we were able to get everything furnished, this again became the center of our life.
As soon as I walked through the door and saw this window, I felt like I was on a boat. And being a sailor with Dino, it just blew me away. I still have that feeling with every time I come in, even if it's just going to the store and I come through the doors again, I'm like, wow. Very hard to get anything done because most of the time you just sit here and look outside and it's always different.
As you come down Straight View Lane, you're coming onto a driveway that is red dirt. There's a garage there. A walkway leads to the front door. It's kind of hard not to be looking out at sea and getting a little bit connected to things larger than yourself. So we kind of named that area Inspiration Point. We go down there and really think about our loved ones. Most days we'll get ourselves down to the end of the walkway there. And then you get a real look at the round cliffs. Kathy always reminds me not to get too close to the edge. One day, I just hope if there's any kind of change in the contour that I don't walk out a little too far and find myself going down. But we just love that point. At low tide, we can get down to the beach, and I personally love that. I mean, I love being able to find my way down there and then just spend some time walking on the beach, finding some sea glass.
When the tide goes out, the colors change. If it's a rainy day, it's a different color than if it's a beautiful sunny day. There's certain times when the light shines on the water that kind of sparkles, and it's just amazing.
I like at nighttime, if you have all the lights in the house on, you can look in all the windows. You can see a lot of life at nighttime when it's all lit up. I mean, it's kind of a special time when you're looking, especially from the water towards the home. It's something that really surpassed our expectations for this phase of our life. When we have visitors here and we have family here, we have great memories of all the young ones being up here, getting in the water, getting in a little inflatable boat. When I look back at the property from the Cape, from the point there, I still can't believe that this is ours. Every year has been better than the one before. I think the constant change, every so often we'll see a boat, cruise ships come through. It reminds us that people book a cruise to come here, and we're lucky enough to be here. In a given day, there are times when we'll just sit here and watch a favorite bird out there that seems to come back every time.
I like the changes that go on every day. The lighting of the sun as it hits the water, changing tides. The red sand will appear, boats that pass by. It's just a beautiful place to watch life go by. Everybody that comes up, they don't really like the drive because they're like, where are we going? When they finally get here, they say, I get why you take that long ride. They really love it. The hard part is, we have to schedule people in because we only have a certain amount of time.
We tell them book early, there's still room at the inn. The couple, they drove up from New York years back, and one morning I see him up on the deck. He's kind of looking out, and he called both of us over and he said, I have one question to ask. And he said, how do you leave here? And that was really, I thought, a great question, because we said, usually with a tear in our eye, if the time did come that we got too old to travel up, of course we'd miss the home, but I think we would miss the people that we've come to love.
Yeah, they're like family. It's been a beautiful life, actually. We've had such luck to be able to spend summers together with our jobs, which was great. Yeah. Not too many people can spend the whole summer together.
Before she became a realtor, Kathy was in finance. It worked, super hard. And I was working with the schools, and I used to have summers off. I think at some point we came to a time before we found the house where we realized that the wealth of time, the time we could spend together, time that we could share with our family, I think that's what really moved us into making a decision to do this. Even now, like I said, I never thought that we would find some place like this in such a beautiful part of the world and be able to call it home.
We're not going to live forever, so...
With that?
So we love it, but I know if something happened to Dino, I probably wouldn't be able to come up by myself.
And I think for myself too, I think without Kathy, I think that would probably be a time to deal with letting this place go. We don't like to think about that too often, but it is a part of life. I'm sure that another family would just enjoy it as much as we have.
I like living by the water because it's very peaceful. You look out there and no matter what's on your mind, it kind of mesmerizes you. Some people get it from yoga or meditation. All your cares just seem to evaporate. And like Dino said, there's something bigger than you.
It lets you have a sense of wonder. You look out there and it takes you to that place where, you recognize that there's a big world out there. You do see creation right in front of you. There's not a day that goes by that we don't marvel at the great blue heron come on in, find its place on the shore, like awe-inspiring for both of us. Home, in a physical sense, it's a place where over time you've got great memories.
Home is where the heart is, and our heart is here, so we're home.
May have mentioned the amateur songwriter and wrote a song entitled Home is Wherever You Are. I met this beautiful woman when she was a young girl. So really, as long as I'm with her, I know I'm home. In the early years, we liked the structure, we loved the view. But now I think it has so much more for me. Coming here really just brings back all the great times that we both shared here. So I think as time goes on, it becomes more precious, actually, because there's more that we can look back on and say, boy, we've really had quite a life on the shore.
My name is Erin Parks. I'm from Ottawa, though now I live on the island, and I'm an executive director of a charity.
My name is Shannon Parks. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario. I do software quality.
This home was built in 1839. The house itself is fantastic. I always wanted an older home, and it's definitely older. It's 185 years old. I really wanted to be really close to the beach, like walking distance to the beach. This is where Shannon and I honeymooned. And we came back every year after that. We stayed in the cottages for about 20 years. And then when we decided we wanted to move to the island, the previous owners basically offered us the house. We told them we wanted to move. And they said, do you want to buy the beach house? It was called the Beach House Inn at the time. And this was my dream house. I couldn't even fathom that we would be able to live in this house. So for all of those reasons, this is the perfect house. It just seemed so serendipitous.
We had always talked about retiring to the island. So our plan was to eventually come here. And during the pandemic, we realized we could work remotely. We thought we would look around. We never dreamed that it would be a place that our kids spent so much time in because we vacationed here. It meant so much to us. So there's a lot of family memories here. It's being able to move to your vacation spot. It was a house, but there was also a business on the property. So it became a little complicated. But luckily, Erin's pretty smart, so she figured it out pretty easily, I think.
It's been incredibly meaningful for us. We have regular guests, just like we were, that come every summer. We know them, we know their kids, we know their dogs. Every year we get to spend time with them too, and we look forward to that. When you walk in the front door, you enter the kitchen, which is really interesting because this used to be a B&B. There are all these sort of quirks. There are 2 ovens. There's a beautiful stained glass also that says bacon and eggs. From the kitchen is the sunroom, which used to be the breakfast room when this was a B&B, but now it's our sunroom and it's where I spend all my time. And then you walk through the dining room into the living room, which is all open concept, which is really kind of the only open concept part of this house. The rooms are distinct rooms. Everything is in its own space. Our guest room, which was actually a combination of 2 smaller rooms. Beyond the dining room to my office, And I'm just really happy to have a big space for all my books and my piano because my work is in music. And then you go upstairs to the other 3 bedrooms. For the staircase is our bedroom, which I really love because it has another beautiful deck. This one looks out over the lighthouse. And we have these beautiful old linden trees just outside that room. We think were probably planted with the house. I always wanted big leafy trees outside my house so I can hear the wind in the trees. There's a little staircase that goes up to my son's room, which is pretty cool because he's 16 and he has his own stairs and kind of his own entrance to his room. Off his room is a beautiful sun deck with view of the ocean. You can see the Cavendish sand dunes. And then finally is my daughter's room, which has a beautiful window seat that looks over the linden trees and the lighthouse. One thing I love about this house is these sort of nooks and crannies and quirks and eccentricities. The sloped ceilings and creaky doors and all that kind of thing.
Because it's an old home, there's a lot of unique character to it.
The sunroom is my favorite room. I always wanted a sunroom. It used to be the breakfast room, and so we would come in and have breakfast. And so I think there's meaning for me. I'm connecting to my history when I'm in that room. I really love everything about old houses. I love that this house has porcelain doorknobs. I love that the stairs creak.
We've thought about different times of what we should change. As an example, the entrance to the basement is outside. In order to do laundry, you gotta go outside. So that means in the winter, you gotta grab your laundry basket and head out the side door and then go down into the basement. But it's something that we've talked about and realized that we kind of enjoy the quirkiness. Do you put stairs and interior from basement to the living room or something like that we decided like, no, it's kind of interesting and it's amazing what you can get used to. It seemed very weird at first, but after a short period of time, we thought it probably isn't worth the effort to fix it. We're kind of used to it now.
As you're driving in, first you'll see the lighthouse. So that's sort of a nice surprise. We have 4 cottages, and straight ahead from the parking lot, there's a little building that we call the bunkie where we have laundry for guests and board games and books. All of the buildings have these beautiful weathered cedar shingles. To the right is our largest cottage. Right behind that, maybe one of my favorite areas, which is my vegetable garden. And there's a field beside it that used to be all lupins in the spring. An area with a creek behind us. The other side of the house has this beautiful row of linden trees. I mean, they're just huge now, huge, huge linden trees. You can see them from all over when we go for a walk up on the hill or anywhere. Even I've seen them from when I'm running across the bay at Cavendish. I can look across the bay and see these linden trees. They're so big. They just add so much character to the exterior of the house. We think of our main entry as the kitchen door, because that's where you come in. But the entry on the side of the house with the linden trees would actually originally have been the main entry. So that's where you have a big staircase up to the door and sort of the main front door. And then there's quite a large deck where we have an exterior eating area that looks out over the ocean as well. I think I just love that it's not just a big yard. There are different parts that I go to for different things. They all then sort of have their own purpose and their own activities associated with them. And I really love that about this property. When I get up in the morning, I get my coffee, I get my book. I sit there and I read. In the summer, I go outside on the deck that's just off the sunroom and sit and just watch the sunrise, which happens right off the sunroom. I think the heart of our home is the kitchen. It's really the only place that we all gather every day. Even though our kids are teenagers, they will hang out with us and have dinner and hang around and chat with us, which is really nice. Sometimes they even cook, which is especially nice. And, you know, it is the place when people, it's the first room you enter when you come in the house. So it tends to be the place that we chat with people when they come in. So it really is kind of the gathering place.
Winters can be very windy, fall can be very windy. Springs here, there's a lot of relearning the property almost. There may be trees that have fallen or different things that have happened. You might have decks that collapse because there's weight of snow that have collected on them. You get to kind of go around and figure out what's going on. Throughout the winter, there's animals that run through different paths like foxes, and there'll be new fox paths and things like that. Come spring, you have to see what's gone on while you were snowed in and couldn't get around and get anywhere.
When we've been away, even before we get to the property, when we cross the bridge, it's just like, you can smell the ocean air. Island time is a real thing. Like everything just feels relaxed. There's not this rush. This is our home. This is our, our house is our home. The island is our home.
When you've been away and you finally see our home again, there's a comfort and ease coming back to this place. There's something comfortable and beautiful and amazing about it.
The thing I like most about living by the water is just the sense of serenity. It's a quiet beach. I remember when we first moved here, it was winter, and I went down to walk on the beach. You couldn't hear anything because there were not really any waves. There were no birds. It was silent.
That sense of connection to nature. In the evenings, open the windows, you're catching the breeze. You feel that sense of nature. There's just a sense of connection to know that there's something bigger out there like nature. You feel like you're part of something that's bigger that's, I think, very beautiful. There's always plans to upgrade. The air conditioning might be nice. We love the house the way it is. We enjoy adding the little touches, finding those different antique shops around the island that you can find accent pieces and new, quirky, interesting little things. For us, it's not about changing the bone structure of the house. We absolutely love the house as is right now.
The future here, I think, is just for us to stay here forever, honestly. I mean, I can't imagine a better place to live. And even our kids, have said, I don't think I'm going to go. We're like, oh, okay. It's so wonderful that they want to stay here too. You'd never know with teenagers, but they love it here. So I think that they will want to stay and maybe build homes on the property. But we definitely don't have any plans to go anywhere.
I think people like living by the water because it is a change of pace. It's a focus on taking a moment to enjoy yourself, to relax. It's fun to hop in the water. It's fun to be on the beach.
It's immediately relaxing. A place that people go for vacation to relax. I can have touches of that all the time, whenever I need it. Mini vacations through my day. So it's very appealing to live by the water. The concept of home is where I can be myself at my most comfortable, where every nook and cranny of the house is a part of my life. My family is here. Home is a place that has a different sort of feeling than any other place you may be. There's nothing like home.
It's a place where you just feel like there's a weight off your shoulders. I'm very fortunate that I live in a beautiful place with a beautiful family, and this is my happy place.
Whether nestled alongside a riverbank or perched high above a distressed ocean, living on the shore has its perks. But beautiful views are only the beginning. The sights, sounds, and sensations of the water are constant in their impact, improving moods, perspectives, and lives. To exist and grow on its edge is extraordinary, an experience made even sweeter when shared with the people we love.